8 is 3/4 of y. 8 is 3/4 of what? And 3 times this number y that we're going to need to know compares how to 18? 8 is. Now, is always means the same thing in mathematics and in math problems like this. It's an equal sign, all right? 1 to 1. Is an equal sign. 3/4 and of always means something too. Of always means times. 8 is 3/4 of y. 8 is 3/4 times y. So what we have here is a super basic algebraic equation. One of the ways that you might be comfortable with solving this, if you really don't like fractions, is to take 3/4 and put 3 divided by 4 into your calculator. Turn it into a decimal number. Now 8 is 0.75 times y. All of these sorts of problems, if there is a letter and an equal sign, are considered algebraic equations, and we will need to get y by itself in order to properly answer this question. We get y by itself. We say y equals a number. That is, if we can't guess and check what number times 0.75 equals 8. And honestly, that wouldn't be too hard, but that's a horrible crutch to have. No, instead we note that 0.75 is being multiplied by y. So the way we're going to chip away at it is divide both sides by 0.75. Dividing the right side by 0.75 allows us to cross it out, because the same thing divided by the same thing is 1. Now the right side says 1 times y, but I'm not going to bother writing that 1. More importantly, it just says y. Most importantly, it says y equals. And 8 divided by 0.75 is this number 10.6 repeating, on my calculator anyway. 10.6 repeating is y, and that means that 3y is 3 times this number, 10.6 repeating, which on my calculator turns out to be almost exactly 32. Well, that means that quantity A is greater. Should mention, when you get 10.6 repeating on your calculator, what you're going to have to do in order to multiply it by 3y is probably type 10.666 or 6, or just keep as many as you can, and then multiply that by 3. You'll get 32 point something, okay? You'll get like 31.9999, something like that, right? So in reality, you actually do want to just assume that what the calculator is telling you is 32. Either case, in this situation, it's so clearly bigger than 18 that we don't really need to worry about that detail. But you know me, and I want to present another method of doing this. When you have 8 equals 3 over 4 times y, you might often find it better to work with the fractions instead of needing to turn everything over into a decimal number. Now, what we can do here is we can divide both sides by the fraction 3/4, just like that. Okay, be comfortable with this. Same thinking as before. What is this? What is 8 divided by 3/4? This will come across as 8 divided by 3/4. That's equal to y, and you may remember, or at least you will need to remember, how to multiply a number and a fraction, or divide a number and a fraction, or divide a fraction and a fraction. Here's what this means. Typically, when they're teaching you this, you say 8 over 1. You change the division sign to a times sign, and you flip the thing you're dividing by. 8 over 1 times 4 over 3 is equivalent to 8 divided by 3 over 4. And so y is equal to 8 times 4, which is 32, divided by 1 times 3. When you multiply fractions, you just go straight across. Okay, it's actually the really easy arithmetic to do with fractions. And 32 divided by 3 turns out to be what y is. Let's take that one step further and think about 3y now, quantity A. What is 3 times 32 over 3? Well, we can cross out those 3's because this is a 3 over 1, remember? And we get 32 by that thinking as well.